Hey everybody, my girl Miss Shayda B.A.E. Thank you so much for tuning in to my channel. If you love everything you hear and see today, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Welcome, baby. I'm so happy that you tuned in. Guys, y'all have not heard or seen from me in about 2 months. I don't know if you saw my last video, but me and my kids was affected by the winter storm. And we just start getting ourselves settled again. I still have to do a lot of unpacking, but I'm working at the same time, so it's a chore, and I'm doing everything on my own in that sense. But I'm just so happy that we're out of the hotel and we can eat a home cooked meal. It's been crazy, okay? Just a lot of stuff been going on in the world. I usually get on here and talk about love at the lockup, but we all saw how that junk went down. So I really don't have no comment on that. You know, we predicted it. The foam on the side of Chevelle's mouth just said it all. It just was like crazy. So, you know, I wish all of them well, but I wait for the next season. But I plan on my channel to do more hair videos. You know, I was listening to, I'm not really a gossip person, but I was listening to Shekinah. Shekinah and Tiny have a lot of beef going. Like, I don't even think they're friends anymore. It's just crazy. But, you know, she basically was trying to expose Tiny for not being, I guess, not paying her what she felt like she was worth. She was trying to tell younger stylists to not depend on being a celebrity stylist because you still gonna have to work. I actually met Shekinah and Tiny at the same time. Well, I met Tiny a few times. I met T.I. a few times. They actually stayed in my area. I ran into Tiny a few times. And Tiny is exactly what her name is, Tiny. She's a very tiny woman. And, you know, really television doesn't do her justice. You know, a lot of people rank on Tiny and say she looked like Miss Piggy and all this stuff. But to be honest, I've seen Tiny in person and she doesn't look like that. Tiny looks very cute. She's a cute little tiny petite woman. Everybody's not photogenic. Okay. So I just think that's her issue. She's not too photogenic. And she actually looked better. I mean, she actually looked cute before she got all that surgery. But I've seen her in person, and she's just really one chromosome away from being a little person. She's really tiny. That's her name. And I met T.I. too. I'm about 5'7". Well, I'm 5'7" exactly in height. And I think maybe T.I. might be 5 feet. He's very short, but very, very handsome and got some beautiful skin. He has some gorgeous skin. Always was friendly, always was nice, always gave me a hug when I saw him. His baby boy at the time was going to the same daycare as my kids' daycare, and I remember him dropping them off in that Bentley. He used to drive a Bentley and drop his son off to the daycare. But and the daycare was so happy that it was going there. They was just, oh, you know, T.I. son go here, you know. I actually met Shekinah and Tiny at Cosmoprof. One day I was going in and to get some hair color or something, and Tiny and Shekinah was having an argument about how to do what Tiny wanted for her hair. And when Shekinah saw me walk in, she said, wait a minute. There go another cosmetologist. You're a cosmetologist, right? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, well, can you let her know about, you know, she was going on about this color or something like that. And Tiny was looking at her like, like, really? You know, and she was looking at me like, really? You know, she was like, but let me say this. If I'm paying for my hair, shouldn't she give me what I want? And I said, well, not always. And I laughed and just kind of laughed it off and walked out real fast because I was coming in there to be in and out because I had about 10 customers waiting on me, and I could not be up there playing with Tiny and Shekinah. And both of them is just short and little. Shekinah, both of them was looking like two little people. Shekinah was real thick, like just little. So not nothing against little people, but you know when you see them on television, you just think they look different. But so I've met them a few times. Not Shekinah. I've not met Shekinah, but that one time. But I've met Tiny and T.I. several times. And I have to honestly say, Tiny don't really talk to you. Like if you run into her, she just kind of look at you. She don't really say anything. She's not really like openly friendly. Like, hey, she's not like T.I. T.I. If he see you, he gonna be like, hey, how you doing? He gonna speak. Tiny kind of like standoff. She kind of just look. She look at you. I don't know if she be hoping you don't recognize her or what, but she'll speak if she have to, but she don't really just put herself out there. But all that to be said, because I'm going to be talking about this all day, Shekinah was right. And I've been saying this for years. And I've had the opportunity to do celebrities, before. And like I said in my other video, because a lot of cosmetology students, they go to school, nail tech students, they go to school, and the first thing you ask them, what do you want this business, what do you want out of this field of cosmetology? And the first thing they all say is, I want to be a celebrity hairstylist. I've been saying for years, celebrities don't really pay for anything. And see, that's what people don't realize. They really don't have control over their money. That's why they tell you net worth. They have to talk to their accountant. They can't just spend their money like you think they can. It's, they have to, it's crazy how it is. And, Shekinah was Tiny's hairstylist. And, Tiny just treated her like her hairstylist. I tell y'all all the time. I've told y'all before. However you met your customer, you can't get out of context. That's gonna always be your customer. I don't care how you go out with them. I don't care how you chill with them. I don't care how close you think you to them. I don't care if you invited them to your family dinner. I don't care if they invited you. I don't care if they done nice things for you. At the end of the day, they see you subservient. And the minute you can't get on beat with what they want you to do, they will cut you off because they've met you as their stylist. Shekinah was, she kept hanging with Tiny. She was getting exposure. Tiny let her get exposure for the TV show that they had. And people started asking, who is Shekinah? Who is Shekinah? People was laughing at her, really making light of her though, because she's country and she's hood. And they really was just making light of her. Not really focusing on if she was a good hairstylist or anything like that. They were just thinking that she was very comical. And that's the stereotypical way they see black people. And so they just VH1 and all that, they just exploited Shekinah. But she was right, and I don't even have to get proof because I know that's how celebrities roll. And that's why I told everybody when they be telling me, oh, I did this, do this celebrity, I do that celebrity. I say my customers are my celebrity. My clients that go to work at the doctor's office and go work at McDonald's, those are my customers. Those are my celebrities. They come in every week, every 2 weeks, and they the ones keeping my lights on and feeding me and my babies. Okay. Those celebrities only come whenever they in town, when they choose to choose you, because they can go to anybody. And you might do them that one time and you will never hear from them again. And that's part of why everybody get pictures and stuff. I did her hair. I didn't do all that because I just didn't do all that. But I mean, I had opportunities to work for B.E.T. I had opportunities to work for different companies, modeling companies and stuff that needed stylists and stuff. I had those opportunities, but like she said, $200, $150 for the whole day. For the whole day. License. Now she might not have no license, but I had a license. And a lot of times, a lot of stylists will lie too. They'll be like, "Oh, they paying me $1,000 to work at B.E.T. a day." Because they want people to think they doing something. But you don't make that much money on set. And but the thing is, why people take that, because they feel like that's the opportunity for them to hook and make network connections with celebrities. And if they like their work, like what happened to her, she was able to hook up with Tiny and do the OMG girls. So, but she wasn't getting paid for it, but that was her choice. Ain't nowhere in the world I would have did all them sew-ins and all that coloring and all that stuff she was doing for $150. She came out her pocket to please them. And really, like she said, I was her assistant. Even though you tried to play like me and Tiny are friends, she had you carrying her stuff. She had you doing her hair, her makeup, putting on her shoes for stuff. She saw you subservient. And I do believe that once Shekinah started getting a big head, because she did get the big head, and when she went on and got her a little place, Tiny started feeling like she was indebted to her, because she probably was like, "Oh, if it wasn't for me, you would have that." Because that's how people do. That's how people do when they feel as though you're beneath them or they're better than you. When they see you come up, it agitates them, because they like, wait a minute, she can't come up because then she'll think she's on my level. And they want to constantly remind you that you're not on their level, and they like for you to look up to them. And basically, when they had their show, people was more so tuning in to see what Shekinah was going to do. Because like I said, Tiny was just laid back. She was chill, laid back, kicking and, just kicking it. Just like her song, just kicking it. She really wasn't out there like that. And Shekinah was wild and young and just out there. So she was gaining more attention on that doggone show. Tiny was tired of it, and, because she wanted to keep treating Shekinah like a pet, in a sense. Like my little groupie. So like I said, basically, Shekinah is feeling the repercussions of selling her soul, in a sense, because she sold her soul to be on a show, to be in the limelight, to be popular, But the minute she thought that she arrived, Tiny and her team cut that junk down. And I'm glad she spotted that T.I. never liked her. I used to be seeing her on that show, and I used to be like, dang, T.I. hate that girl. He could not stand Shekinah. And I used to be kind of embarrassed for her, because she used to be like, "Tip, what I did to you?" Like, I mean, he would just be going in on her. He looked so down on her. And I felt so bad. I used to hate to see her and him interact, because it made me feel like, I don't know if it was a colorism issue with him, or he just looked down on her, because, I believe he have a colorism issue, I don't know. It just was something that when he saw her, he just saw her as a project rat, and he treated her like that. And I hated he did that, because I had so much respect for him as a man, I don't like to see any man treat a woman any kind of way. And I just didn't appreciate that. Connecting her with Tiny, Tiny, where Tiny was kind of, because Tiny like laid back. Tiny's not like, her personality is not like Shekinah. Shekinah loud. Shekinah's personality demands attention. Like I said, Tiny more laid back. She be in the cut. I think that's a lot for her to even be doing those shows, to even really speak out, because she don't give that vibe when you meet her. She's very standoffish when you meet her. And so I don't, 'cause she used to come to the barbershop and get her son's hair cut at the barbershop that I worked at. My dad worked there. And they would come in there and stuff because they stayed in the neighborhood. And she just standoffish. She's not real like out there. So yeah, I do believe Shekinah. I do believe that Tiny was probably saying those things about her. Not really standing up for her, saying that she went and bought her own house, and she didn't really do nothing for her like that. But Shekinah allowed that to happen to herself from her choices and not really knowing what she's worth, you know. So yeah, that was something. I'm gonna edit this because I know I'm talking too much and babbling on. But another thing I want to talk about is, yeah, I know we lost a great one. We lost the hip hop. The hip hop world has lost a few stars, man. We done lost some people, man. It's just been crazy. But the one that we recently lost, we lost Shock G. That was hard because Shock G was so handsome. Oh my goodness. He was so handsome. And he had that hit song, and it was so funny because I was listening to him the other day before they said he had passed. Because I was up there playing the Humpty Hump song. I was playing like old school rap. I just said, let me hear some old school rap, and I was playing him. And now he's gone. I don't know why he's gone. I think they say he was only 57. But a lot of times, these older rappers don't realize they're getting older, and they still live the lifestyle they lived when they was 20. And just because you look halfway decent, and just because you can still function a certain way, that doesn't mean that your body isn't getting old. You have to take care of yourself. Okay, you have to. And I don't know why he died. I don't know what, I'm sure they're going to come up with when they do the autopsy. I'm sure they're going to tell us what was the cause of his death. And don't be shocked if it was a drug overdose or something. Just don't be shocked when you hear that, because that's what they told us about DMX. I'm when I tell you, from the day I saw DMX, I was a DMX fan. Like literally, I remember my first boyfriend. I only dated him because he had a New York accent and his voice sounded gritty like DMX. And in my mind, I just knew I was with DMX. My sister teased me about it all the time. She'd be like, "You just thought you had a DMX." I sure did. I sure did. I was obsessed with DMX. I had every album. I remember I played some of my albums so bad. My CDs, I scratched some of them because I played them so much. That's Hell is Hot CD and all that. That X, I played that CD so much where it just scratched up. Slipping is my favorite song from DMX. That's my favorite song. I used to love to hear his prayers on there, his conversations even with the devil. I just used to think his artistry was so unique, and it was like he was showing us the battle between good and evil, what he had to deal with in the industry. Very talented. I remember when, and I'm gonna be honest, I actually had the pleasure of meeting DMX several times, not just once. I've met him several times. I remember when I first heard he was in the city I lived in. I was an underclassman, and one of my classmates that had graduated ahead of me got the opportunity to work at the airport. And she was working at the airport, and she knew I loved DMX, so she called me and she said, "Girl, guess who I met today?" And I was like, "Who?" And I was naming all these like different little dudes, like round the way and everything. Like, I was like, "Who, Tyrese?" Or, I was just naming people. She was like, "Usher." She said, "No." She said, "It's somebody you really, really love." And I said, "Girl, I know you ain't met DMX." And she said, "Girl, yeah." I said, "No, where you met him at?" And she said, "I met him at the airport. He came through today." I said, "Are you lying?" She said, "No, Joanne, and I lied. Joanne, I'm telling you a story. If you see this, I'm telling you a story." She was like, "I met him and I told him, I'm your biggest fan." And I was like, "You his biggest fan, girl?" She said, "Yeah, I told him I'm your biggest fan, DMX." And he was like, "Word, really?" And Joanne wanted to be a model, at the time. And he said, "All right, word." So she gave him her number, and he called her, and he got her address, and she said he came over there and had a dude drop him over there. And when he got out the car, he came out the car with a big bucket of KFC chicken and came to the house. And when he got in there, he thought they was going to have sex. And he was like, "So what's up, Ma? Whatever." And she was like, "Oh no, DMS, it wasn't that kind of party. I just wanted you to come over so I could show my friends and my family. I wanted you to meet my friends and my family." He was like, "Oh, word? Oh, really? Oh, okay." And as I reflect on this story, baby, let me tell you something. This man was like new money, new fame. He could have been feeling himself. He could have walked in there like some of these Me Too entertainers did, with his dang-a-lang swinging with the condom. And he could have forced her. He could have forced himself on her and made her do it, because he came over there with the intent to have sex with her. And this is why it's so good not to judge a book by its cover, because to be honest, if she would have said he raped me, people would have believed it, because he was a thug. He wasn't an angel by means. We know he used to rob, and he had a record. He had a long, extensive record of going in and out of prison. But that just shows you that just because somebody look a certain way, that don't mean that their character. See, he still had integrity. Yes, so in some areas we could view him as a womanizer, but when it came to a woman saying, "No, I'm not going to sleep with you," he respected her wishes, ate his little chicken, talked to his babies, called his boy, and got the hell up out of there, baby. So for that, I will always have respect for him, because he could have raped my girl. He could have did something to her, But that just shows his character and what type of dude he really was. His heart was really good. He had a good heart. So she said he sat down and was eating chicken. He said, "Well, can I use your phone?" And she said, and my phone, this was before they had cell phones. Okay. So she said he used her phone and he called his wife and kids. And I said, girl, he is not married, girl. They would have had that on the source. They would have had that on everything. He is not married. And she said, yes, he is married. And she said, yes, he is married. And he have two little babies, two little cute little boys. I say, no, he don't, girl. Because they would have put that on there. They put all them that have their wives and stuff. They would have, because he been out for a while, they would have said he was with somebody. They don't even say he with nobody. She said, no, he got two little boys, and I talked to him. They so cute. I was like, what? She said, yeah, he called him. He let me speak to him and everything. I said, oh, okay. I was like, for real? Okay. So I was jealous. Because she got to meet him, not knowing that I was going to meet him eventually. The next time I saw not the next time, the first time I saw DMX, I was on my way to church. I was still in high school, and we was driving. I was sitting in the back seat of the car, and we was on our way to church, and it was a black truck. I can't even remember what type of truck it was. I don't know if it was an Escalade. I don't know if it was a expedition. I don't forgot what it was, but it was black because it's been so long ago. And it was some loud music playing from it. And usually, you young and stuff, you always look to see who playing that loud music. So I just turn my head and I just see a guy in a t-shirt and he just going hard, and I'm looking at him and I'm like, he looked like DMX. And then I was like, you know what? That is DMX. And I hit my sister. I was like, that's DMX. And we was like, that's DMX. And he was like, what's up? Like kind of like, yeah, what's up, kids? You know what I'm saying? What's up, young ladies? He ain't, that he just gave us like a nod, like, what's up? Yeah, I'm DMX. And we was like, yeah. And it was a not random, but it was a regular, we stayed in the hood, okay? And it was a regular homeless dude that stayed, you know how you had them regular homeless people, them regular crackheads or regular people that stayed in the area. They in the street, they just street people, but they them from being in the street because every time you walk around the neighborhood, they're there. It was a dude that was like homeless and out there in the streets. DMX turned that truck around. We saw him because the traffic was kind of backed up. And anybody know anything about Miami traffic in that area? It was kind of because we had a train and that slowed down the traffic. Yeah, he turned his truck around, went over to that homeless man, and I literally saw him put money in this man's hand. I was like, dang, that's sweet. He gave that homeless man money. And I was like, dang. And I was like, dang, I wish I could get out of this car. But we was on our way to church. And, it was so funny because my sister, after DMX passed, my sister made a good point. She said, we never saw him no more. I said, right. You were so right. I wonder how much money DMX gave him. Because we never saw him no more. We never saw that man no more. So the next time I met DMX, I had started working at the barbershop with my dad. And I was working at the barbershop. And it was only me and this Jamaican guy that was working there. I can't think of his name right now. But he used to get on my last nerve because he was so whack. He was like, all he talked about all day was Beanie Man. I mean, Beanie Man this, Beanie Man that. I mean, you couldn't even turn to him and say hello. Beanie Man. It's like that's all he talked about. He was so up Beanie Man, but like it was just too much. And if you could talk about Michael Jackson, he'd be like, nobody's better than Beanie Man. Beanie Man, Beanie Man. So he just talked about Beanie Man all the time. And to me, I thought Shabba Ranks, nobody was better than him. y'all gonna stop sleeping on Shabba. But anyway, I'm in the barbershop and I'm working on a customer. And it was just me and him in there. And a guy walked in and he said, how y'all taking any walk-ins today? And he was like, no, next walk-in gonna be later. How long? What do they want? He said, well, DMX is outside. He want to get a haircut. I turned around, my eyes got so big. I said, DMX? I said, oh, he wear a bald head. Oh yeah, tell him to come in. I could do his hair. But he said, nah, ma, he wear all even with a line. And I'm like, oh, okay. He said, you could do that? And he said, you can cut? I was like, I could do a bald head. And I said, he want a bald head. She said, I thought he wore a bald head. But now that I look at pictures of him, he did have a little bit of hair up there, And DMX came in there. And I was like, dang, it's DMX. I was so happy because this time I got to actually be in his face and meet him. And I didn't freak out at first. I just looked at him and I said, could I please hug you? And he said, yeah. He was like, yeah. So I stopped doing my customer. My customer jumped up too. She wanted to get a hug too. I jumped up, went over there and hugged him. And, I was just I looked at him and I said, thank you so much. I love your music. And he said, yeah, thank you, Ma. He was like, thank you, he was just real nice. He was like, thank you so much. Very humble. But I couldn't get past how he looked. Because you see them on the magazines and, in the videos, and he just looked at so much different than what he looked like in person. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like when I looked at him, because I was up close on him, because I hugged him, and I looked in his mouth, and the bottom of his teeth was like really, like it looked like he ate popcorn and just left it there for months. It was just like caked up yellow stuff all at the bottom of his teeth. He was very thin, and I'm gonna be honest, he did look like a crackhead. And I'm not trying to mess with the dead, because I know people get very defensive when you talk about dead people. But I mean, this is what I saw. Oh, please don't try to come for me in the comment section saying I'm disrespecting him and anything like that. This is a true story that I witnessed, and I've told this story time and time again. It was shocking for me. So I'm just being honest in my perception of what I saw and what I witnessed. So it's not to tear him down or anything like that. I have the most up respect for DMX. Like I said, I'm a fan. I'm one of his biggest fans. So I'm not trying to tear him down or anything like that. Sometimes we just have to keep it real and keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? Because even though he dead and gone, he had struggles, which I didn't know about at the time. And now that I really reflect on it, I see how the photographers and the record companies used to photograph him at certain angles to give him the appearance of looking more healthier, more thicker, because in person you could see the struggle. But, at that time, we didn't know his struggle. We didn't know he had a drug addiction. We didn't know he was struggling with those battles, because like I said, he was fresh. He was fresh, new, a new celebrity, So the pictures and the videos and everything that they was showing us, it gave us a different appearance of him. So these appearances, they Photoshop, they fix it up, they make it more prettier, more, so you don't see the struggle. You don't see the griminess. You don't see what he was dealing with, so that's why I was shocked. I'm not saying it, saying this to sound mean or nasty. I was just really in total shock. Okay. I'm not trying to tear him down, because at the time, I don't think anybody knew he battled with drugs. Because I mean, the public, they didn't, you didn't see that. So I think that's what was a shocker to me, because we didn't know he had a drug problem at the time. And I was like, dang, he looked different than what I thought he looked like. And I literally said these words. I said, he looked like a crackhead. But I still loved him. I said, I loved him. I'm in love with a crackhead. I still love DMX. I still thought he was so talented. And, the third time I met him, I remember I was in college, and all my friends and the whole campus, it was like doing a holiday, and mostly everybody on the campus was gone, and the only people who was really there was the people who couldn't go home for the holiday, or just couldn't leave campus because they didn't have no other place to go. So it wasn't that many of us there. It probably could have been about 30 or 40. It was a HBC, a historically black college. So, it wasn't that many of us there. And at the time, I was going through a lot, and I was just looking out the window, just looking out the window, because I was in that room by myself, and I was just watching people walk by, just looking out the window. And all of a sudden, I saw this black truck pull up by the cafeteria, because the dorms was by the cafeteria. The girl dorms was by the cafeteria. So I saw a black truck pull up, and I mean, they just pulled up in the parking lot, and then I see a dude walk out, and I said, "That's DMX." I said, "I know that's not DMX." It was DMX, and he walked out and walked. And he just leaned against the wall. He walked out his truck and just leaned against the wall at the cafeteria. He just was chilling, just standing there, like he was just almost like he was just waiting, just for somebody to walk past at the corner store or something. He was just chilling. And I said, I ran out the dormitory, and I started yelling to the girls that was there. I was like, DMX out there. And it was like, girl, ain't no DMX out here. And they looked out there and they said, that is him. So, it wasn't too long before the guys on the other side, because the guys' dormitory was on the other side. So it wasn't too long ago that the few dudes that was there found out that DMX was there. So they ran over there and they start freestyle. All you see is all them just freestyle. And some of them was really good, and DMX was just vibing with them. He was listening to him, he was vibing with them. And this is when DMX was at the height of one of the height of his career. He had did Belly. He had did Belly with Nas. He was doing, he had his record, he had his album out. He was touring. He was a big star. So he out there, he listening to these dudes rap and he freestyling with them. And it was so cool. He was giving them dap. He was encouraging them. He was saying good, cool stuff. He gave a couple of them $100. He was just so nice. And now that I think back on it, I said, I wonder did he know that we was the ones that was out of school. I wanted did he come to the campus because he knew that a lot of us didn't have nothing to do or nowhere to go, and most of us, y'all know how it is when y'all on campus and y'all don't go home. A lot of us didn't have family. A lot of us didn't have nobody to go home to. We just up there trying to make it in school, and the school let us stay because we had no other option. And I'm just wondering, did he come out there for the mere fact that he knew that it was going to be a group of people out there that just didn't have nobody? And I'm thinking about it now, and it's just like, wow. If he would have came out there, if it wasn't a holiday, it's no way none of us would have been able to see him like that, because everybody would have been piled over him, crowding him and stuff. But I wonder, did he come because he knew that we didn't have anybody, or we was the ones that was left without being able to, be with our families and stuff. I think about that now, and I'm wondering if that's why he came out there. I don't have any pictures because at the time they didn't have camera phones. Only thing we had then was like 3-way pages. So all I have is my memory. But those are the times I met DMX. Yeah, that was the time I met him. And I have a problem with how he died. I know everybody is a conspiracy theorist. I still don't think his death was natural. I'm a conspiracy theorist, guys. So I don't believe his death was natural. Something my spirit's telling me is not natural. I know he was tired, but I think that he was enjoying his new life. I think he was enjoying actually calming down, settling down with his fiancé, because I truly do believe he really cared for his fiancé. I don't know if he loved her, but I believe he really cared for her. He showed more public affection with her more than he did his wife. Because when we finally saw his wife, I didn't see him really show her that public affection like he did Desiree. Before y'all come for me and start saying, no, you don't know what they was in their relationship. He loved his wife. I didn't say that he didn't love his wife. I think that he did love his wife. But to me, the love that he had for her was a little different. It was like almost like a friendship, like a respect, the admiration type of relationship. Like he respected her to the best of his ability for being the mother of his kids and taking responsibility, and he admired her because she's an awesome woman. I mean, Tashira Simmons is a beautiful person inside and out, but the emotion of him to me was more so in a friendship vibe versus with Desiree. It was more sensual, he didn't mind hugging on her in public and kissing on her in public and holding on her in public, So I think you can love two women but love them differently. He loved Tashira more as a friend, and they had children. but I think that the connection was just more so a friend versus, that sensualness that he had with Desiree. But that's just my opinion. Don't come for me now. You know how it is. You know how these men, there's a lot of them, they like that. But I believe he still loved both of them, but loved them differently. And that's a possibility. Desiree. But his wife is so beautiful. When they first found out that he was married, a lot of people was dogging her. I heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, she's so ugly," and I was like, "Who? His wife, man. His wife is ugly." And because they just thought he was supposed to be with some kind of Instagram model or something. They like, he DMX, what he doing with? And when I saw her, I was like, this woman has very strong African features, and she's gorgeous. And I love when she wear that heavy bang and that bob. She be wearing it. But you know what's more beautiful than her exterior? Her inside. And that's like, I could see why DMX was connected with her. I think their relationship was like friends more so. I believe he did love her, because how could you not love her? She's beautiful on the inside. And it comes out on the outside. She's the very definition of somebody who might not be aesthetically just super like model status in the face or the body or something like that. But when you talk to her, whatever she got going on the inside, it just come out, and she just looks gorgeous. She look better than Halle Berry and anybody else. Gorgeous woman. Very strong woman that endured all that stuff that she did. Because for you to look at your husband mistress, because yeah, she was still one of his mistresses, because she was with him 10 years. They didn't divorce to 2014, and she said she knew him before then. So I'm sure they flirted and everything else. True enough, him and his wife wasn't together, but they still was legally married. For you to look at her at that funeral and you give her love and you encourage her, that was a level of maturity that I think a lot of women will never see. But I think when they say you love somebody, I think that's the first time I heard that statement was actually from one of DMX albums, where he said, if you love somebody, let them go. If they come back to you, they're yours. If they don't, they never was. I believe he saw her as a friend because he was so wounded. And I believe he was in her life to teach her about Jesus Christ, because he had such a loving endearment for Jesus. Even through his hurt and through his pain, his drug addiction, we seen him decline. But we also seen him improve and come out of, so those circumstances and start looking good, looking healthier, because he been skinny, most of his career. And then it was just so funny to see him thicken up and, look clean, more clean cut, more solid. It was a blessing to see that. I remember when I first saw him like that was on that Snoop and DMX verses, and I was like, dang, DMX, no, he done got fat, but it was so cute on him with that little belly. It was just too cute, and I just really enjoyed that verses, and I'm so glad that they did that, that we can have that to remember him by, because that was a really cool verses, and he was so energetic and so hype and just had such a great personality. And I was glad people could see him in that light, because really when you met DMX, like, he just brought something out of you. Like, he was so kind to his fans and so loving. And I got a friend girl who actually met DMX and invited him to her house for dinner. Do you know DMX came? And he was there in her house, enjoying dinner with her family, sitting in the den watching a movie. He was DMX. And he came to her house. She invited him and he came. That's how calm he was. That's how much faith he had in people in the community. He didn't know if they were going to set him up to rob him, or they could have did anything. he came and just actually enjoyed her family. And that was just crazy to me. But that's just how that's the type of dude DMX was. He was just a cool individual. He loved his fans, he loved people, and he loved his community. I just and he loved his family, he loved his kids. I just hate that that dude slipped him them drugs and, just tried to destroy him. And that was the demon that he had to battle. But, he was really a sweet guy. He's going to be missed so much. But he never lost the respect of the community. He never lost our love. We always loved DMX. We saw him decline and everything, but we always loved him. We always supported him. His wife continued to love and support him. That woman, even when he felt like she wasn't. Because, when you be an addict sometimes, when your loved ones don't agree with everything you do, you start feeling like they don't support or love you. She never stopped loving him. I believe his oldest son, just had resentment to his dad because he hated to see how good his mom was and how his daddy was treating his mom. And he was just protective. But I believe he loved his dad, but he just didn't like the way he treated his mother, because he said his mom was an honorable woman, and she really is. And I wish her nothing but the best, and I miss Desiree nothing but the best. And it's just amazing that they said he have two little babies now too. I believe them two little twins as he is. We know DMX have, a repertoire with the ladies. But it's so funny that that woman, that last one that he had the babies with, she have a striking resemblance to me, to Tashira, his first wife. Like she's a younger version. So that's why I was saying, I believe he still loved Tashira a lot. Sometimes you even find people. It's funny how you would find somebody favor somebody that you love, and she just like a younger version. But yeah, they got to do a blood test though. But his last baby, that's his twin, and it was amazing that he named this child Exodus. It was just something. But I find it odd that he died on Little Nas's birthday. I was watching a segment from Lovely T. If y'all don't know who she is, she's really big on YouTube. If you don't know, go subscribe to her. She's very, I just feel like me and Lovely T like went to school together or something. Like every time I see her, every time I watch her, it be like me and her in the room together, and she just feeling me, updating me on what happened, girl. Like I'll be like, girl, what happened? Like, what's going on, Lovely T? What's going on? Girl, T, what's the T? She be giving me the tea, and it just feel like, but we from the same generation now. See, that's why I vibe on her, because she went through, we grew up in the 90s. So, she went through some things, and she saw some stuff, and she gets on there, she tells the truth. That's why I really like her, because she tell the truth, and she's unapologetic to tell the truth. So if you check her out, if you don't know her, go check her out. See, I just found out about her not too long ago when I started really getting on YouTube and the pandemic and stuff, because I always worked and stuff, so I never had time to watch TV or anything like that. But I just found out about it, because I sure want to be a part of her little what's that, Discord channel, girls. I be wanting to know what the T is, girl. But anyway, check her out though. Check her out. I just think, girl, and I hate I didn't find out about her until now, because I work so much, I didn't never really watch YouTube or really get into television. Like I'm just watching all the shows like the Parkers stuff. I never saw that stuff because I always was working day and night. But what she was saying was, because I'm a conspiracy theorist like her. And, I think more 90s children are conspiracy theorists because we saw a lot of stuff, man. Like, I'm going to be honest, we saw a lot of stuff. And, so I think that's why. But she was saying how they waited for him to die on the Little Nas X birthday, with that Illuminati stuff. So she kind of breaks it down a lot, and how a lot of that stuff was ritual. A lot of the behaviors, and even with the funeral and all that was ritual. And even with Little Nas X, his birthday, and what he was promoting with the devil shoe and all that. Like, she kind of breaks it down a little bit. That's why I wish I was on that Discord, baby, because I'm missing it. I'm missing it. So I guess I have to find out through the grapevine. But yeah, if y'all on the Discord, let me know what's going on. If some of y'all, cause some of y'all been on YouTube forever. See, I just started getting on YouTube, but yeah, I had to get my little tea time in with Lovely Tea. She's one of the few people I love to watch on here because, like I said, she be coming with the tea, honey. So I don't like the gossip. So but she's more like a reporter, kind of on the celebrities and stuff like that. So, check her out. She should be at 1 million. She been on here so long. I just wonder why some people get up to 1 million subscribers or better in such a short amount of time, and somebody like her still have under 1 million subscribers. But it is what it is. The powers that be. But yeah, so
but it's a lot going on in the world. We have to be mindful right about now. It's so much going on, and I don't want to start gossiping and stuff like that, but I'm gonna just say I'm gonna miss DMX, man. I really want to see him do a gospel album. Cause Lord Give Me a Sign, that's my second favorite song, and it's still in my playlist. Those two songs were definitely in my playlist. Okay, he's gonna be missed. He's gonna be missed. And I'm honored that I got to meet him the few times I did, because a lot of people was like, I wish I met him. I actually met him, guys, and he was nice. He was a nice guy. Good heart. Good heart. I know he was robbing people and stuff, and I feel bad because I know the people like, girl, he wasn't all that. He robbed me, and God knows how many hearts was broken and how many families he's hurt from his deeds. But I feel like he was a good person. He was like a Robin Hood, maybe. I believe he had a good heart, and he will be missed. Rest in peace, DMX. Thank you for all the songs, all the knowledge, all the wisdom, all the gifts that you blessed us with. I wish people would have loved you through your pain, but we still love. I believe that most of us still had mad love for you, DMX. Mad love, and it will never be another. But anyway, guys. It's probably like 4 o'clock in the morning. Y'all know how I do my videos. But anyway, I'm back, guys. And I'm going to try to do more videos and everything like that. So stay tuned. Love you guys. And thanks for spending time with your girl, Miss Shayda B.A.E. I'll talk to you later.
Window, no more endo. Look at a video. Say to myself, that could have been yo. On the TV.